Hey, what's up guys? This is Halfway, broadcasting from around the world, phenomenal Pen, Cambodia. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are having a beautiful day in Cambodia or in whatever country you're in or wherever you are. I'll give you a little shot of our morning here in Phnom Penh. It's like, I don't know what time it is, maybe 11 a.m. and pretty beautiful day. So one great thing about living here, at least for someone like me, is the weather. The climate is, generally hot and nice. I like hot weather. Today's actually a little on the cooler side. And then, of course, there's the rainy season. I'm not the hugest fan of all the rain. But even during the rainy season, usually, it's not like it rains all day. We're coming to the end of rainy season now. Again, even during the rainy season, like it'll rain for, a portion of the day usually, and then it'll be, usually at least for a while, sunny again. So that's one good thing about being here. But this video is probably not about the climate. Maybe it's about the climate, maybe it's about the political climate. I'm so cheesy. Anyway, so I wanted to talk a little bit about, in the US we have our midterm elections coming up soon. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit. More importantly, about like information about things. So obviously, anytime there's like elections coming up, Facebook and social media is like a hotbed for political conversation. Probably more so just political bantering or political shelling out information. So that's like my first point is, whatever side you fall on, or whatever, whatever party you support, or whatever ideas and ideals that you support, I would recommend just being cautious or proactive about sharing information about things if you're not sure if it's true or factual or not. Especially if you're the kind of person that wants to like honestly support an idea because you believe it's a good idea, not just because you like the idea of the idea, if that makes sense. I just see so many times people posting information, especially a lot of like memes. And the problem with memes is they're just so easy to repost. You don't have to put any thought into it. But that's kind of my point. So if you see a meme, and you're thinking about like posting it or reposting it, maybe look into it, especially if it's something that seems like too good to be true, or too explicit, or too overwhelming, or overbearing, or almost supporting your idea too much. Look into it to see if it's really true, because a lot of times these things are not true. And then what happens is it just becomes this cycle of sharing this misinformation. And this happens, I think, on both sides. And I think you guys should just be careful of that. I try to be careful of that. I actually don't share as much political stuff as I used to when I was younger. I do have some pretty strong political beliefs, but I try to be factual in what I'm sharing, and also I just try not to share that kind of stuff as much these days. But again, my point is just be cautious of the things you're sharing, or even a lot of things are misleading, or things are intentionally misleading to trick you. So don't fall for these tricks. That's another thing. For example, now I see a lot of posts about, so if anybody's unaware, in the Americas right now, they're calling a caravan of people coming, I believe, from Honduras, heading toward the U.S. to ask for asylum. And because of this, it's causing a lot of controversy about immigrants. There's always controversy about immigration and asylum in the U.S., those kind of things. But this is, causing, a lot of talk and such debate about this. And I keep seeing these memes, like, for example, like, we don't even have enough money to support our homeless veterans. How are we going to support these immigrants? So now, my point is, whether you agree that we should be allowing these refugees, or potential refugees, to enter the U.S., is a different thing. And this is along the lines of what I'm saying with the misinformation, where people intentionally strawman an idea or misconstrued an idea for something like this. So, for example, homelessness of veterans in the U.S. has absolutely nothing to do with immigrants. There's not enough legislation to give homeless veterans more things and more channels and avenues to get out of being homeless. There's not enough programs and such allocated toward homeless veterans. Now, this is, again, having nothing to do with the policy of immigration. We just had a over $1 trillion budget expansion to the defense of the U.S., and I don't think that any of that is going toward homeless veterans. So if you're gonna, invest over $1 trillion into your military and not take out, $100 billion maybe to invest in homeless veterans, that's not the fault of immigrants. That's the fault of the people who made that legislation that didn't include homeless veterans in the military budget, right? So that's just one example. So again, that's just, people read that and say, oh my God, immigrants are really bad because, they're taking away from our homeless vets. No, they're not. They're two completely separate issues. They have absolutely nothing to do with each other. Now, you can have one idea about immigration, somebody else can have another idea about immigration, you can have a conversation and debate about those, but it's when you take the misinformation and interject it, where everything gets so cloudy and murky that you can no longer have an honest conversation about the situation or the circumstances, if that makes sense. So just beware of that kind of stuff, guys. And also, along the same lines, man, so they just had this, recently there was a synagogue that there was a mass shooting at, and as of now, from the information that I gather, it's being looked into as a hate crime. I'm sure we'll, get more information about that. But what happens, I think, on both the left and on the right is we're so quick to judge people of a group. So for example, if let's say there's a terrorist group by an Islamic extremist in the US, the right wing will so quickly be like, look, the left wants to, treat Muslim, I mean, not treat Muslims good, but, they don't want to, treat Muslims differently, or, they don't want to, have them not put in a different light. Like, hey, look, it's a Muslim extremist. We have to, watch all the mosques and all the Muslims are bad, and because left-wingers are maybe sympathetic toward Islam, sometimes, look, the left wing's bad. And kind of the same thing here now, when it's, a right-wing extremist that does it, the left wing would be like, hey, look, it's a, a right-wing extremist, and they support Donald Trump, so therefore all Donald Trump supporters ally on these conversation topics and these viewpoints, and there's just not enough truth for that. Now, again, I've spoken about so many times. Like, I in no way support Donald Trump or what he's doing, or most of his policies. I'm not a fan. However, going into it when he was elected, I think I made a video about this. Like, I was hoping, like, hey, if he really makes America a better place, like, why not? Like, I want America to be a great country. As much as I love living in Cambodia and I like it here, I still love my country back home, and I want it to be a great country.